Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glenn Cowie. Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glenn Cowie, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both the match attending and international supporters' view. A quick update following Robert De Zerbi's press conference today. Let's get into it. So first impressions from De Zerbi's press conference. Not exactly inspiring, but definitely more positive than we got from Tudor or Frank. And that's probably the headline. He's confirmed that Vicario won't be fit for Sunday, which is an obvious blow. We already knew Tudor was out for the season as well. We found that out earlier in the week. And De Zerbi actually said, I started with no big luck. Which, yeah, that feels like the full Tottenham experience in one sentence. And on Kudus, you could tell he was frustrated. He said Kudus was a critical player in his mind, especially for that position, which tell you that he clearly had plans for him straight away. But what caught my attention was what he said next. He said Spurs have to look forward, and then he mentions Kolumwani by name. He says, I know he's not a player in having a good season, but he is a good player. And that feels deliberate to me, the fact that he name-checked him. It sounds like a manager looking at someone and thinking, maybe I can get something out of you. So keep an eye on that one for Sunday. The other thing that really interested me was De Zerbi saying he doesn't have time for principles. He wants organisation with the ball and without the ball. And honestly, that probably is exactly what we need right now. Not an ideology, a grand footballing thesis. He doesn't have his full team with him. He doesn't have the time required to really instill that into the players. So just a team that actually looks organised, knows what it's doing, and stops beating itself up. Bentancur being back is a plus, but the bigger point was his message to the fans. He basically said the fans don't need a message from him because they were already fantastic before the Forest match. And the message is really for the staff and for the players. And I quite like that. Because he said Spurs need to make the fans happy with the right football, the right spirit and the right behaviour on the pitch. And then they have to deserve that support. And that's the key word he used, deserve. And I like that because I've felt most of the season that the supporters have done their best. And the players have very rarely raised to the amount of enthusiasm that the supporters have shown. So the first message from De Zerbi is pretty simple. Be organised, be accountable, and earn the people's respect and trust back. Now we'll see on Sunday whether more positive actually turns into anything real. Come on, you Spurs.